Greetings, hello, welcome everyone, welcome to DevChatter. My name is Brendan, and this channel obviously is DevChatter, and we are more than just a stream. We are a community of developers. We have a bunch of them that are showing up there in the chat, and some nice hype out of S&B there. If you are new to the stream, first off, I want to welcome you and make sure that you know that it is perfectly okay to ask questions. If at any point you are wondering what we're doing, what's going on, you don't understand something that's on the screen, feel free to, bring it up and try to get an answer. If I get to it, I'll answer your question. If someone in chat gets to it, you're going to get an answer. The answer might not be, hey, here's the information you wanted. It might be, that's too big of a thing to discuss during the stream. But either way, we will at least let you know that, if that is the case. For those of you that are interested in chatting with us outside the stream, I'm going to toss some links in the chat to our Discord. If you are someone that is interested in seeing some of the stuff we've done in the past, see how we built the things that we're currently working on, the projects that we've done here on the stream, we do have a full archive out on YouTube that is all the videos that we've done here on our stream, organized into projects by playlists, so you can find what you're looking for pretty easily that way. Related to that, I am going to be trying to do some more of our little one-off streams where we try to complete the entire project in a single stream, so hopefully you're looking forward to those as well, because we will be doing some of those. So, hey Crimson Green, welcome. S&B, hi. You want me to stop sending storms across the Atlantic? I just can't do that. I like having storms named after me, S&B. So I'm gonna have to fight you on that one, and by fight you I mean I don't know. I don't think I was actually sending the storms, but sure, why not? I'll take credit. Yes, I have weather controlling powers. No, I really don't. One quick thing I want to do, because I started up i7 while we were doing this. There we go, reloaded. So that menu will let you see what's going on with Interactive 7 while we are playing this. And I'm going to bring up the game as well. So the application we're building, if you haven't been here before, this is our WPF app. It is called Interactive 7, so named because it adds chat interactivity, so chat control over Interactive 7. For any streamer that is playing Final Fantasy VII, hence the name 7, they can give their chat the ability to control the game that they are playing. So while chat is in here, we could do something like press that. Wait, is it not running? Oh, I didn't click connect. Ha! Ha ha! Disconnected. Connect. There we go. Okay, so we can do fun stuff like this, or what S&B tried to do a minute ago, which is trigger a rainbow. Maybe S&B will trigger another rainbow. But we give chat control of the game, and more than just colors, they have control of status effects, items, equipment, so they can really mess with the players of the game quite a bit, because we kind of just let them change whatever it is we can find to let them change, because that's kind of fun. So, the plan for today, which for anyone that is in our Discord, you found out yesterday because I messaged about it, is we're going to work on 4 things. So there are 2 bugs that exist related to status effects, and that is that in combat, the chat can actually apply different status effects to the characters. Some of them don't make sense to have applied at the same time, so we're going to change it so that when you apply one that adjusts the same type of thing, it's going to override the other one. So there's the time-based ones. A character can be stopped, slowed, or sped up, and that's through the stop, haste, and slow status effects. only one of those should be applied at any given time. And then additionally, Fury and Sadness are opposite statuses, and we want to make sure that the player is only affected by one of those and not both. In addition to that, we want to build 2 new commands into the game, one of them to add Gil to a player, and one of them to remove Gil from a player. So someone might then be wondering, why are we doing it as 2 separate commands instead of just one? Now, we could implement it as a single command class, but the reason why we're going to separate it into 2 is because we want 2 sets of configuration. Because a player might say, I want chat to be able to give me Gil, or maybe they want to be able to have it taken away, but not the other one. And so by separating them, we allow them, you know, that configuration without having to get into the weird, let's limit the numbers. So we're going to make it nice and obvious of a yes, you enable it or disable it. So I think that's going to make the most sense and be easiest for the players to use. So I think I want to start with the commands first, because that is the simple, intuitive, and obvious one. So obviously I'm running Interactive 7, that's how we've got this stuff going, but I'm going to stop it while we actually do development. So, okay, it stopped. Hey Rexy, welcome. So let's jump over to one of our existing commands. So we'll go to the rainbow command. So this is actually the entirety of the rainbow command, which hilariously I actually just trigger off another thing that does it. When we do these, we just implement our base command type, and that's pretty much all it takes. So let's do that. I'm going to jump over into the commands folder and add a new command. We're going to call it player, because I want to specify it's the player. Give player Gil command. Okay, so we're going to make this one, and it's going to be a base command, and we're going to go ahead and implement the constructors and method that it needs. So we're going to get rid of that. So we're not going to implement it just yet. I want to do a couple of things. First off, I want to call the base constructor off of this, which is going to work like this. Okay, so first things, I need to use the command word selector. So what was the type on that? Let me back up 1 second. It is a function that takes in command settings. Welcome to the stream, Nate. Thank you very much for the 17-month Twitch Prime resub. Welcome to the stream. I will see you tomorrow. So this takes in a command settings, and this is supposed to be for the words. So this is give player Gil command words. Okay, so if anyone's wondering what I'm doing here for programmers in the chat that don't know Lambda expressions, what I'm doing is, for all of these commands, the way they work is they're going to, at some point, they're going to be given what the current settings are, and the command needs to know how to check, hey, am I active? So this is our way to define for each command that it itself can tell if it's active. So by doing this as a method, we allow ourselves to do any logic we want for how to determine if it's active, and the command itself knows how to do that given the settings. So that's the concept. So this is, should I trigger, and am I active? So for the active check, we're going to do this. We're going to then say, let's see, what do we want to put it under? There's item settings, menu settings, maybe it'll be money setting, maybe it is under item settings. No, it's, player Gil settings. Enable give command. Okay, I think that's the settings we're going for. Hey, Cyrilash, welcome! The FF7 stuff's coming along. It has been a while since I have seen you here, and good try. That definitely failed to send coins to yourself. All right. So that's all we need to do in order to set up this. We now need to go and create those settings. That's why they're all highlighted in red right now. But before I do that, I want to create them all at once, so I'm going to make the remove command as well. So we're going to remove Player Gil, and then this is going to be remove and Player Gil settings enable remove command. There we go. And I think that'll work. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it to automatically create that. Now, where do I want this organized in the file? Help, refresh, name, menu, heal, Asuna. We'll just add it to the top. So we're going to take this and do that with it. Okay, so we want this to be give player underscore give player. There we go. And that one. So let's scroll to the top. Doop, doop. Give player. Let's see. Add player. Find Gil. Oh, hey! S&B, look, it wasn't rigged. That was a joke. He claims it's rigged if he doesn't win. Such a cheater, that S&B. Whoops, give Player Gil, remove Player Gil. Find Gil, and whoops. And we're going to call this one Drop Gil, I think. It's rigged. Yeah, everybody that loses is rigged. Everybody that wins, it's not rigged, clearly. This is how this works. We all know this. Okay, let's duplicate that a couple of times and leave some space. So we're going to say give Gil command words. And this is going to be remove. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do this, because this one doesn't exist yet, so remove Gil command words. Your rock was larger. Yeah, it should have won. Hey, Pudding, welcome. Greetings. Yes, you made it to a stream. I think you've been to one of these before. I don't think this is your first one. Remove. Remove. Yeah. Doing pretty well, Pudding. Yep, you've been here, but it has been a while. Hey, Swoogie, welcome. Oh, yeah. We are just adding in the settings for the giving Gil and the removing Gil commands. So these are going to be some of your favorites. And by that I mean you're going to hate these ones. Well, probably. Probably hate these ones. Alright, let's call this Player Gil Settings, which is going to be a new type next to one of these other settings, like, is this one super complicated? Not terribly. Okay. So we're going to make a new class called Player Gil Settings, and we're going to steal this. So I'm going to tell it that this is an observable settings base, which essentially means that our WPF UI is going to be able to watch this and make sure it works. So this is going to have 2 enableds. This is going to have Give Gil enabled and Remove Gil enabled. So those are going to be the 2 settings for that. And then I'm going to need an enabled. And we're going to need 2 other settings for this as well, which are going to be the multipliers. So thinking about this, if we're going to let players add and remove Gil, there's a couple of things that we're going to have to do. So keep in mind, just for an explanation for anybody that doesn't know, the player in the game has Gil. You can see it down on the bottom right there. And the player currently has 6,293 Gil in this game. And obviously we want to be able to mess with that number, either adding or removing. Now, the way that transactions work in Interactive 7 is players cheer, so viewers cheer with bits, and that gets them essentially money they can use to affect the game. So if I check my command, oh, I don't have it running, but when I did, it would tell me how much Gil, Gil me, the viewer, has, and that would allow me to affect the Gil of the player. Welcome, Sean. Thanks for that follow. The nice thing about that is that there's an easy correlation. Now, some streamers might say, like, hey, yeah, I want them to spend a lot of money to remove my my Gil in the game, but 1-to-1 is kind of crazy, because that's like, you can earn that back in a single fight, so that seems unbalanced. So obviously there's going to be some kind of multiplier. It's how much is an i7 Gil worth to affect the game, and that's sort of what we have to add in. Okay, let's go ahead and change that. Whoops. 5. No, give. And we're going to put this one up here and say remove. And now, if I jump back to our command, hopefully all the red text is enable give command. Oh, what did I call it? Oh, I flipped it to enable. Do I reverse it? No, we'll go this way. That's fine. Give Gil enabled. Yep. And this one should be Remove Gil enabled. Remove. Ooh, I messed that up. That needs to be Remove Player Gil command words. That's why that one didn't line up. Remove Player Gil command words. I'm going to do a quick rename on that. We do not want to rename that property. We're going to leave it as it was. Okay. There we go. Much better. Okay, so we're now set up to be able to do this. The way that we set up our accounting in the system in order to be able to have costs is we set it up such that anything that required a cost would use the payment processor. So we built a class called a payment processor, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that into each one of these commands because it's going to need to perform a payment from the user. So we're going to bring those in, and then I want to do a Gil transaction. So I wrote some code here that just does a Gil transaction, and that is essentially, we're just going to say how much did you want to pay, and we're going to apply that, which actually I'm not going to look at the rainbow command at that. We are going to borrow from the name bidding. Zucker, welcome. Thank you for that follow. Much appreciated. Yeah, menu random won't work right now, although I can hear. You want to try it? I'll turn it on real fast while we're because we can do a little bit of coding while it's running. So just so people can see what it is that Interactive 7 does. Here's the game. So this is what a menu random does. It just goes and applies this. Although that is currently disconnected, it'll take a minute before that reconnects. There it goes. Yep, so menu random. And the cool part is you can actually just queue up a bunch of those, and then it's the same as doing a rainbow. But See, the colors just change. It's so nice. Big fan of those. It's quite nice. I like watching the menu colors change. It's so pretty. All right. So I was gonna look at the name bidding command. I thought name command. Here it is. All right. So, oh, I did that. Triggered. Right. We triggered a domain event based on that. Okay. Yeah. So I did that one a little bit more complicated. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start out simply. So we're gonna say, go ahead and grab the arguments from this, and we are looking at the. We want to look at element at or default. Yeah, rainbow is the best. I agree. Actually, I'm going to stop that program just so that I don't get squigglies. The reason why I'm getting all these squiggly lines is because the program's running and it's like, hey, I shouldn't be running while you're doing stuff. Okay, so let's think about this. The arguments. So if this is the command I type, I would say like give. So I would say like find Gil 100 or something like that. So find Gil 100. That should be the amount that I spend. I think, not the amount that they receive or lose. Or should it be the amount that they receive or lose, and then I adjust for the cost. No, it's gotta be our Gil. So we're gonna say find Gil 100. So let's see. That is gonna be the first argument. Has to be a number. So we're gonna say element at or default. Well, I guess it'll be first or default. So we're gonna grab the first argument, and that'll be amount. Where is the give Gil command right now? Because that's the one I'm gonna steal from. Parse arg. Ooh, I wrote a parse args. That's hilarious. What did I do with that? Parse args. Oh yeah, because I made it super smart about that. Yeah, so I could find it. Yeah, okay. I won't worry about that. So this is first or default. That'll get Did I make a parse like this? No, I didn't. Oh, save in parse. Yes, I did. Oh, that's awesome. What does save int parse do? I am so glad I wrote this. Go me. Go me. I helped myself out. That's nice. Okay. If amount less than or equal to 0, then we want to return, but before we do that, we want to say I need the Twitch client, which is going to be like this. Twitch client, yep, bring in the type, add in the Twitch client. And I'm going to do the same thing here, because we're going to need one on that class as well. Okay, if the amount is less than or equal to 0, then we're going to return. But before we do that, we're going to send out a message. So we're going to send a message to the command data channel, and we're going to say find Gil. Thanks, Cyrilash. I think that would technically work. I think it would work. That's the funny part, is I think you can get away with doing like some strange ways of representing numbers. Yeah, we could test that if you want. Just give me a second to get this going. Specify amount. How much gil do you want to spend giving gil to? We'll say their name there. User. Okay. So how much gil do you want to spend? Do you want to give to the player? How much of your gil do you want to give to the player? Person. Okay, so... And I'm not going to care whether they gave us a negative or not. I'm just going to ask them the same question regardless. I don't see a need to really, you know, be like, oh, you gave me a negative, you jerk. So, not terribly worried about it. Okay, so if they give us a real number, then we want to do a payment processor action, which is going to be... this is not the right place to look for that. Do a guild transaction of some kind. Welcome, Todd Alicious. Wait a minute, I know who that is. Welcome to the stream. You live relatively close to me, as I recall. How do you prevent double spending? What do you mean prevent double spending, Cyrilash? Hey, NetCodys. What are you worried about? Crimson Green? I have no idea. Maybe. It's someone that was a fan of sports teams near me. So, I don't actually really know where I just assume that anyone that's a fan of sports teams near me must live somewhere near me. Okay. So, assuming they specified a valid amount... Guild transaction, payment processor, passing in the command data, and then this should be the amount, so that's the amount. Okay, and then allow mod override. We don't want battle settings, we want player guild settings, allow mod override. And this will be their amount times yeah, individual colors should work, S&B. I think I7's off. Are individual colors not working? I may need to update the OAuth on that one, S&B. Hang on, let me go ahead and try one adjustment to make it work. All right, let's see if it works this time. Nope, I do need to update the Twitch OAuth, I think. Okay, so the bot is there. Hang on. Yay, there it goes. Okay. So settings dot player guild settings dot multiplier. Let's call this the give multiplier. So we're going to give them the option. So we're going to give two additional settings here to the streamer. There's what the multiplier is. So for every bit that the viewer spends, how much guild does that translate to? And then there's also, can moderators do this for free? So we're going to check both of those. So we're going to add that property. And then we're also going to add this property. So allow mod override and that. So we're going to do this. There we go. And that. And those will be our properties here. So the give multiplier underscore G. Gonna be like that, and then this one is gonna be that with an underscore A. Okay. Let's jump to the top, and yes, I know I need to adjust the... Whoa! Didn't mean to do that. Can everybody read that? Is that font okay? Yes, I could use T4 for that. Thank you. The give multiplier and... Oh, that one's already an int. Oh, did I already change that to an int? Oh, no, it got created as an int. That makes sense. Okay, so what do we default it to? 100? So for every... No, let's do 10. For every dollar they spend, they can remove 1,000 gil from the player. Sounds about right. As a default for me. Some other players might need to adjust more. I'm thinking of Swoog. You'll need to adjust that more. You might not want to... I don't know, we'll do it this way. I don't know exactly how much to put in there. It's really hard to figure out how much any of these should cost. Okay, so Gil transaction. Yeah, exactly, Tatalicious. Gil transaction paid. Alright, so we'll do that. Oh, wait, hang on. Almost forgot. Do we, does this, okay, because I did a process payment like that, require bits. Yeah, so we're always truing on that. Okay. So we won't do an incomplete amount if they didn't have enough money. Okay. Yeah, this is... well, no, this one's actually giving them money, S&B. But yeah. And S&B's correct, it is unlikely. Are you going to add... Cyrilash, yes, we are going to be adding chat points. I am told by a reliable source that Q1 is when that is supposed to be possible. To do without just scraping text out of the chat, which we don't want to do. We want to make it so that there's actually a connection between the channel point expenditure and adding this into i7. Yeah, so the chat points are there and streamers can do stuff with them, which is nice, but until we actually get integration into all of our various bots and things, there are limited things we can do with them. Okay, so if you did not pay, then again I'm going to return, return, and in addition to that, we are going to send a message saying that you didn't have enough gil. You don't have amount gil. And then, assuming we got to this point, then we're going to actually do the transaction, which for this, there's one other thing that we need to add in, and that is the, what is it, Gil? Accessor? There it is. The Gil accessor. We'll put there. We'll add that as well, and then that should be the final thing that we need in order to make this part work. So put that down there and say Gil accessor, add it in there as well. Okay, so now we're going to say Gil accessor, and we have set Gil, but we're going to adjust that. Yeah, exactly, Swoog. Your chat spent a mass ton of their channel points already, so they're kind of limited in what they can do. Alright, so we're going to do add Gil amount. And I'm going to put a to-do here. So for adding Gil, actually, we don't need to check their amount. It's when removing Gil that we want to make sure that the player can lose that. Better add a NSF for overspending. NSF? I'm missing what the acronym is there. Okay, so memory accessor. I want to read memory from addresses, Gil address, the bit converter, which this will be a new byte array that we're going to put right there, and the size of this is addresses.gil.numbytes. Okay. And then when we have that value, how did I do this before? I am going to want to padlock this. So let's do this. We're going to put in a padlock, and I'm going to borrow this. We're going to take this code, put it in here. Actually, we don't need those. And I didn't have a logger in here, so I'm going to do that. Logger over to this one. And we're going to store that. And I'm going to check out chat in a second. I saw some typing in there, so I'll have a look. See what people are saying. Okay, so this is error. Changing. You're adding guild player. Okay. Oh, not sufficient funds fee. But yeah, exactly. Yeah. Clearly we're going to do that. We're going to start charging overdrafts on them. That seems like a terrible idea. Yeah, Sirlash, you're going to owe me a whole bunch of money by the end of this stream. How do you think I can afford to do these streams? All right, so we want to read out that. Bit converter. I want the number of bytes in Gil. 4 bytes. Okay. To int 32, to uint 32 probably. Yeah, it'll be a uint 32 buffer. This should be the current balance. We want to say current balance plus equals amount. Oh, it doesn't want to let me add that because they're different types. I could make that a uint, which I'll do for now. Memory accessor, write memory, settings, process name, whoops, address, Gil address, and then the amount is going to be bitconverter.getBytes, and we're going to give it the current balance. Let's get those onto the screen just so I can see them. Yeah, so if we're gonna... Why do I have set Gil? What did I do with this? Popper command. I totally forgot that's what was using that. Hey, Mr. Hellstorm, welcome. Thanks for that follow. Yeah, we're totally... we're gonna wrap this in that, too. For those of you that don't know what the popper command is, it is the most evil thing in the system. It is absolutely fantastic. Error, setting player Gil. The popper command is great because it removes all of the player's equipment, their items, their materia. They're set back to defaults, and the best part is it does that even for characters they have not yet unlocked. So, like, you hit them with that and just boom, they have nothing. Like, it just destroys them. Popper is evil. So make sure if you're a player and going to run this, set the dollar amount high if you're going to turn on the popper command. Yeah, don't give him ideas. It is probably my favorite one. Is like, and the best part is it doesn't leave you at 0 Gil. It leaves you at 2. It's just like so insulting because there's nothing in the game that you can buy for 2 Gil. It's like just leave him with 2. All right. So what did we do? We pulled out of the processor's memory what the current balance is, add to it, and then do that. Let's go look at the reference to this, or we call this amount. So I did a safe int parse. I should do a safe uint parse also, because in this case I really do want this to be a uint. So we're going to do a safe uint parse. It's going to return back a uint. So uint. There we go. So we're going to do a safe uint parse into a uint. So for anyone that's wondering, you don't know what a uint is, that's an unsigned integer. That means it will never be a negative number. It is in fact stored just to be a positive number only. You've been hit with popper 3 times. Yes, that sounds about right, actually. Oh, the guild transaction has to be that. Well, that's a good point. Well, in that case, I don't even need to do what I was just about to do. We're flipping that back to an int. I won't even parse the uint for now, so we'll just do this as a single one, and then here we'll say that oh, the multiplier's down here, not up there. That's the amount that they're losing. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is a uint, and then I need to wrap those. So there we go. We take this integer value, we cast it to a uint, we pass it into here, and then add gil will add that amount of gil. So, in theory, add gil might be working. I'm going to go ahead and write both of them real fast, and then we'll go ahead and give it a try. So, there's one additional safety that we're going to need on remove gil. So let's put this in its own file. So remove gil is now going to be in its own file. We're going to put that there. And if that's less than, how much gil do you want to... You want to take that? You don't have that amount of gil. Okay. And then this is going to be remove gil. Okay, so I'm going to need to check the player's gil before we do this. We're going to need a safety on this one. This will just be a mount. I think that's what I called it here. Yep. So we're going to do this right here. So this is the amount to remove. So we're going to want to read what they have. And we'll just say if current balance greater than amount, then subtract it. Otherwise, current balance equals 0. They might overpay it as possible, but if they're at that, then sorry. So if they spent more than that, we'll just set it down to 0, and that'll be good. We'll put in a 0. Yeah. Subtract the amount. Okay. So I need a get gil. So we did set, but we need get as well. Which is going to be this call, actually. And then it is going to be bit converter to uint32 buffer uint. If anything goes wrong, we just return back 0. We don't know how much gil they have. If something's gone wrong, then we'll just do that. So we'll try to read it. Bit converter. Do that. Current amount greater than amount. Wait, hang on. What are you asking about? If current balance... Oh, yep. Yep, I wrote the wrong thing. If current balance is greater than the amount, greater than or equal to the amount, then you can do the subtraction. Otherwise, don't do it. There's another safety that I could do that would be a better one, but that works for now. So get Gil is going to return back that. So then inside of this, I want to say I need to check their current Gil amount before we perform the transaction. Gil to remove uint. That's going to be the Gil to remove amount that they're attempting to do. And we're going to say current Gil equals Gil accessor get Gil. Whoops. We don't use that. I switched it to returning back an amount instead. So current Gil, and we're going to say if Gil to remove is greater than current Gil, well, we could either tell them that they're spending too much, or we could just automatically adjust their value to the amount that they need to spend to get all of it. So to do adjust to
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
Hey, Strife, welcome to the stream, and thank you very much for the 4-month resub. Adjust the request to remove all Gil. Yeah. But for now, I'm just going to say, hey, we couldn't do it. Player doesn't have player doesn't have that, so spend less than that. Alright, let's see. Does it compile right now? Or did I add in something that needs to change? Hey Eric, welcome. Welcome everyone. Hopefully this code makes sense to most people. If it doesn't, let me know, and I would be glad to explain what is going on. Alright, turning it on. Let's go. Actually, I'm going to turn on two things. I'm going to turn on the other bot too while I'm at it. Alright, there we go. Alright, so the bots are live. And just to confirm, let's do this. So there's a refresh of that. So we got menu colors there. So let's go ahead and... Okay, cool. So it is working. Everything's wired up. What did I call those? Double spend race condition? There's a second safety in there, Miha. So if they didn't have enough, you'd set them down to 0. So I don't think they would... if 2 players put in the command, it is possible that they would both spend for it. Miha, but I decided not to lock it down because it doesn't really seem worth it. But I guess we can. I'm fairly certain that the commands execute one at a time anyway, with the way that it's set up. But I'm not 100% on that. So I think because they come in one at a time regardless, that we're not going to run into the race condition. But if Lucky were here, he'd be able to answer that better for us. And thank you, Janiscu. That random color palette looks nice. It's like tropical fruit or something. All right. Let's give it a try. So what did we call our command? Command settings. What is it? Find Gil. All right, find Gil. Find Gil 100. Nope, don't see anything. Oh! Derp. Totally didn't forget to just turn on the command at all. What? No. No, that's crazy. I wouldn't have forgotten to, put the command in the system. Oh, that's just crazy. No, never. And actually, I'm going to flip these because I like Find Gil and Drop Gil as names of these better. So for the default names, I'm going to want that to be first. So the game will default to calling them that. Alright, and then the last thing, I want to have it send the message. So let's actually send out a message on this. Removed. Gil to remove from player. Now where's give? Give player Gil command. Added. Alright, so this is going to be Gil to add. So this right here, going to extract out as Gil to add. Added for player. Okay. Let's see. What's the current architecture? What's the architecture like? Hollowed B. The architecture of this application, it's set up with just a basic onion architecture. So we've got a core application which houses most of the central logic as well as most of the abstractions, interfaces, and things like that. But then we've broken out most of the application into infrastructures that make sense. So we connect in, so all of our Twitch connections are done in here, and then anything that actually knows about Final Fantasy VII right now is currently in here, but I want to move that to its own project. So the stuff that does know about FF7 is in there because it's so central to the project, but I'm probably going to move that. Everything related to the status overlay is in the Seng project. And, hey, very nice, Tom. You unlocked Think. I'm a big fan of Think. I also like Shock. Shock and Think are my favorites of the emotes in here. Alright, let's go ahead and give it a try, though. Yep, Shock and Think. They're two good ones. Alright, let's go. Bringing this up. And then I am going to reset our display. Why didn't you come up? Let's try that again. And Eric, unlocking the high emote. Sure, Hollowed. Fire away with your question. Ooh, what's going on? Why does it not want to load the process right now? There it goes. Hang on. Come on. Base? Oh, like base command? So base is a common term for like you've got an abstract. So that is an abstract class called base command. Yeah, and this one. So this actually just says when you call the constructor of this, go ahead and also call the base class's constructor and pass in these values. So that's basically saying call the base command constructor and give it these values. So that's all that means. So this is the constructor of this class. Why would I do that? Because the base class has some code for determining whether or not a command should be executed, and it requires these values in order to run. And since the base class is shared across all the commands, each command then just needs to pass in essentially what makes you different. So every class is like, hey, this is how I'm different. This is how I determine if I should run. This is how I determine whether or not I'm enabled. And so that's the idea there. We are throwing an exception. I can almost guarantee it. So I'm going to check the output. Something I think is not wired up in the dependency table would be my guess. We getting something in the output? Because it's not running here. Starting the web host. Okay, I'm going to load this project real fast. I'm actually going to look at the source code, because we're not running for some reason. Where did I put it? GitHub? GitHub, Interactive 7, source, 7, bin, debug, Core 3.1. And then 164, anything else in there? Nope. So this is where it is, and then I should have a logs folder. Let's see if I logged the error. Okay. So it looks like that's going on. Try create exact service. It's doing service lookups on these. Windows. Unable to resolve type Gil accessor while attempting to activate the player Gil command. Okay. So the Gil accessor. How did I do that for Pauper then? Pauper command. Oh, derp. Yes, that was well done, Brendan. Well done. I put in the actual class instead of the interface. That would be why it wouldn't start. Awesome, Hollowby. Glad that made sense. Whoops. I didn't put those methods on the interface. Whoops. Not the Twitch client. The Gil accessor. Control-Shift-R on this, and I want to pull members up into the Gil accessor. I want to bring up these into that base. Hollowed B, hey, thank you very much for that follow. Much appreciated. Alright, so that should have altered it. Let's try building it now. The nice thing is, when you use good tooling, you don't even have to look at the file a lot of the time, because it just pulled those values directly into the interface, and I don't even have to look at it. It should have already done it. The base class may not have a parameterless constructor. Sean is correct, there is in fact no parameterless constructor on the base class, which means we do have to call one of the base class's constructors. Okay, so let's go ahead and wire that up. So Interactive 7 is running again. I'm going to go ahead and switch our screen real fast just so that we refresh that. The reason I do that is just to make sure that that is connected, because if I don't refresh it, then it can take upwards of a minute, because I do have it delaying over time how long before it does connect that. So, alright, so game is going. We have menu color control. Really? Really? Never seen it fail to do that. Well, that's interesting. Player Gil command. Hang on. Should execute. Remove Player Gil line 20. Oh, crap! Nope, that's right. I didn't do this. There we go. Yeah, that would do it. That would do it. No, I didn't. Yeah, because I didn't actually initialize the settings correctly for some reason. So now that that's running, settings should be fine. Should execute. Okay, so we are getting our messages. It is joined. It is in here. Let's go ahead and try that again. There we go. So we can shift through some colors. We can jump to random. So it's connected to the game. Let's go ahead and say find Gil 100. Hey, there it goes. Yay, I can give me money. Oh, crap. No, but you did find an error, Cyrilash. Good job. Yeah, no, that's totally on me. You know what? Before I fix that error, let's do this other one. Drop Gil 100. There you go. Okay, so dropping Gil works. So, whoops, drop Gil 100. Good try, Hollowed Bee. Hang on a second, everyone. Hang on. You can try those again in a second. Hang on. I need to fix the username. Username. Because that was going to be wrong. Remove Gil command. Enter user. Enter user. User. And then the amount. I did the multiplier to add, but I did not do the multiplier to remove. This was supposed to be the remove multiplier. Yep, I need to create both. Remove multiplier. Okay, so I did the give multiplier. We're going to do the remove multiplier. Alright, so give multiplier, it's right here. Duplicate. Remove. There's the multiplier for removal. Okay. Alright, let's try that again. Find Gil. That's some good money right there. How much did I add? That was $1 million? Haha! So there you go. So the multipliers work. Oh, thank you, Strife. How nice of you. Good try, Hollowed B. Yeah, good try. Cute Polano? I'm guessing. If I butchered your name, let me know. But yeah, good try. Good attempt. Yeah. Well done. Strife's doing tests that'll actually work, and everybody else is checking those edge cases for me. Alright, I removed a bunch of Gil. And then drop Gil. What is multiplier was 10? There we go. Player doesn't have 10. I need to say Gil in that. Player doesn't have Gil, yeah. Alright, so we know what we need to do. So in our remove checks, so we're going to say player doesn't have that Gil. Doesn't have 10 Gil. And I'm going to remove the name from that. You don't have that much Gil, so-and-so. Remove that Gil. Okay, let me make sure anytime I did the number, I said Gil afterwards. You don't have that much Gil, person. Added that much Gil to the player. How much of your Gil do you want to give to the player? There we go. Yeah, every afternoon. I agree. That was from that's from a copy pasta. I should get rid of those question marks. Because I copied it from one with a question mark. I should get rid of that. You don't have that much. Thank you for the mention that I still had a couple there every afternoon. Alright. I want to commit that change, because that is a good change in there. So let me go ahead and get myself on a new branch. This is Player Gil commands. Branch. Bring my changes with me, please. Alright, no, Strife. I have 3 right now. Sure, Miha. I'll bring that up. Find Gil. There we go. Oh, it's not running, so yeah. Yeah, I didn't have 50 Gil. You want to see the safe int parse. Right there, Miha. It is actually just a wrapper around int the standard try parse method, so that you can call it just in line like that. So it's just to make the call nicer, but at the end of the day, it is just a try parse. Yep. Just a couple of extensions to make it look a little nicer in the code. But I will run it. What's up, Hollowed B? What are you wondering about? What's happening in what code? The in which code, Hollowed B? You let me know which code and I'd be glad to show you. Safe int parse? Sure. There, now I've got Gil. You could at least try, you gotta remember, my culture, would have that as a dot, so it'd be like find Gil 10.0, like that. So, because I definitely didn't do any culture checking on that, so it's gonna match whatever the my computer has for the settings for that. So you want to see the safe int parse. Okay. Hollowed B, do you know how the try parse method works? Is that what's confusing, or are you wondering about the extension method itself? Which piece are you wondering about, Hollowed? I guess I could explain both of them. So the couple of things that are going on here. So when you create a public static method that has a this as as a keyword before the type of the first argument, what that ends up doing is that creates what's called an extension method in C#, which means that you can call it a little bit differently. So instead of typing in safe int parse and passing in this parameter, you can have a string and say dot safe int parse. So this sort of makes it look like this is a member of string. So if we look at where we call this, you'll see that we did it right here. You'll notice that we're calling it off of the string. So the result of this is a string, and we're saying, parse it. And what that does is that actually is the same thing as if I were to write safe int parse and I put this code here inside of the parentheses. The code's the same, it just lets me write it the way that I want to read it. Okay, the other question, so that's the extension method. Hopefully that made some sense. It's a feature of C# that lets us do that. The other thing is a static method on the int type. So this is int.tryparse, and we actually say you pass in the text that you want to parse a value out of, and then this is using what's called output variables. Now, you may have seen output parameters before where you declare a variable like an int, you don't initialize it, and then you pass it as a parameter to a tryparse, and you'd use the out keyword. So the out keyword is a special one that says this method is going to set this value. So it's kind of like passing by reference, except that you pass in an uninitialized variable, and it is required by the compiler that this value gets set. So the tryparse method will set this value. Now, in our case, because we don't care about whether or not this succeeds, we just return back the result value. So whatever was put in here, we return it. However, if you want to handle the case where it did not parse, where it failed for some reason, what you can actually do is use the result of this. So tryparse, it's kind of hard to see because the font is small, but when I mouse over this, you can see tryparse returns a boolean. So that's going to be whether or not it succeeded or failed at parsing. So that's the reason why you use an output parameter, is because you're usually returning back a result that is not the value you were trying to obtain. So hopefully that makes sense and explains what's going on there. For anyone, because I'm sure there was more than one person that was wondering. Greetings, Freaky. Hello. Welcome. C#, keeping reference out and ref keywords is a great advantage when you compare it with Java. Yes. Yes. I agree completely. I actually am a big fan of the output keyword. I think it is super, super useful to have. Safe int parse gives me the idea that it works the reverse of what the code says. Oh, so Fuel Snibble, you're thinking that safe int parse would mean that it would, I guess I don't. So my thought is that it will not it just won't blow up, and it will give you a result no matter what. Is kind of what I meant by safe, but I could see someone else interpreting that a different way. So, all right. Oh, and someone did a menu random. Common Writer did. Yep. So we still have these on here. Nice colors. So we have a new command set up, and that is to give the person money. Let's take a look at the settings for this. Player Gil settings. I defaulted them to true for our testing purposes, but I think when we give this to anyone else, we're going to want to have this start out as false, so that they have to turn it on in order to get the feature. And we'll have it set pretty high to start with, and people can adjust it if they need to. Thank you for that follow, Freaky. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Okay, so we've got those. I'm going to want to get a settings screen for these eventually, so for now, add to settings screen, screen, like that. Words. Okay, so all of those settings need to get added to the settings screen, so I'm going to go ahead and mark them as such, as a reminder to myself that they need to go there. Yeah, that's going to be the standard bot, since it says tokens instead of Gil there, Kamen Rider. Yeah, so I used to stream 4 times a week back in the day, but right now my schedule has me jam-packed, so I don't have as much time right now. But I am trying to get a during the week streaming schedule going again. We'll see how I do on that, because I've been trying to get it going for a couple of months now and have not succeeded yet. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to take a look at today isn't just the commands with this. We wanted to take a look at a couple of bugs that exist. So let's have a look at those. Adjusting default settings. I'm going to commit that change. So let's have a look at our status effect command. So in the status effect command, this is one of our most complicated commands. Notice it's like 100 lines long in this method. We do a couple of things. So when someone attempts to apply a status effect to a character, right now we just say, okay, do they have it? No, they don't. Okay, add it. And then we sort of put it in there. Did I choose the architecture for any specific reason? Hollowed, the answer to that question is yes. And the reason it is structured the way it is so that we can move these parts around to different places as we change things. So we have had as a plan for this since the beginning that there would likely be a Twitch extension at some point. So essentially having like an interface that people could actually click on the screen and manipulate things. And so we have it structured in a fairly abstracted way so that we can move to that when it makes sense to do so. So we'll need to build that extension. Once we have that, then it's as simple as moving big chunks of the code, and they're already separated out into these pieces. So that is the reason why we have this architecture, is because it is flexible and we can move things as we like. Semeta, no. So we don't have an easy way to fix that in the short term due to the way that status effects work in the game. When we the reason for it is that in order to get a status effect to apply to a character, at least the way we're doing it now, is to essentially tell the game, hey, this is a status effect that I want to add, and then waiting for it to update, and if it doesn't, we need to change what the status effect is that we're trying to apply. And so what we do is we actually flip your character in and out of the manipulate status. And when we do that, that's actually what resets the ATB. So unless we can get a way for the game to accept our status effect changes and like right off the bat, which I find unlikely, then we'll still have that. So could get fixed at some point, but I'm not attempting to tackle that one right now. Right now we are going to be looking at the status effects like slow, stop, haste, fury, and sadness that should not apply when other ones are applied. So, how do we want to do this? Status effects. So these are the enum types, and okay, so when we apply it, set actor status. Here's the one we want to do. So this adds that status. So if the status effect has an opposite effect, alright. So hang on 1 second, everyone. All right. Here's what I'm thinking. If status effect has opposite, then status will and equals the maybe we'll just call remove. We'll just call remove. Has blocking opposite? Yeah, we'll do that. And return. Status effect dot get opposite. So we're going to remove the opposite if we have that. Otherwise, we're going to do a removal without returning, and then we'll apply it. I think that makes sense. Extensions. status effects extensions. There we go. Public static class. Alright, so public bool has blocking opposite. This status effects status effect, and then the other one is going to be has opposite that's non-blocking, so that'll just be regular one. And then the third choice is to actually just get it. Get the opposite. And that'll be there. Why did you choose to hard code command registering and keyword instead of just using reflection and a runtime setting up? So part of the reason why we did that is there, for some things, we could do a scanning and reflection-based approach to do the registration of dependencies. Some of the things that we're wiring up would need to be custom, so we could have used an IOC container for it that was just scanning and looking at those and adding them in, but I decided not to because a couple of things require specific wiring up, and I decided not to write custom scanners. That being said, for all the default commands that exist, we could write conventions, essentially. So most IOC containers also have like a convention that you can set up, which is kind of telling it, hey, when you find things that are like this while scanning the assembly, go ahead and wire them up this way. Really just decided not to do it. So it doesn't make a huge difference in terms of performance or anything like that to do it this way, so there's not like a benefit. It's just, decided to write it this way. So, not much cost, not much benefit. In order to make this pass, I'm just going to do that. And then this is just going to return status effects barrier. Sure, why not? And these need to be static. 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 And static. There we go. Error's gone. Okay, so has blocking opposite. Okay, so this is going to be a status effects block with blocking opposites equals what has a blocking opposite? So that means that you would not switch, you would block on it. That's going to be sadness and fury, I think, are the two that we've got. Whoops, private static, yep. And it doesn't like my name now. So we're going to say if this and status effect equals status effect. What do you know? Whoops. There we go. So there's that method. And now with opposites is going to be this one. We remove the opposite and just continue on. So this is going to be slow, stop, and haste. And this one's going to be return that and status effect equals status effect. So if it's in there, go ahead and do that. That's whoops, bitwise operation there. Okay. And then get the opposite. So I'm actually not sure how I want to handle this one. I guess technically we could just do a quick dictionary of what the opposite is for each one of these. So let's do that. Private static dictionary of status effects that we're going to call underscore opposites. So this is going to be a little bit fancy here. Maybe a little, might be a little confusing. I'm hoping not, but maybe it will be. So the opposite of sadness is going to be fury. And the opposite of fury, whoops, fury is going to be sadness. The opposite of haste is going to be slow or stop. The opposite of slow is going to be haste or stop. And the opposite of stop is going to be haste or slow. So this is going to essentially combine these two values into one. So we're going to say remove both slow and stop if they exist when applying haste. And when applying slow, we're going to remove haste and stop if they exist. And when applying stop, we're going to remove haste and slow. I don't know if that's exactly how it's supposed to work in the game, but for now we're going to wire it up that way. And if you're applying one of these, because we said that these were the non-blocking ones, that it would just apply. There's basically just undoing them and stopping. Wait, hang on, sadness. Yeah, it does this and it does this and then applies whatever the new one is that you said. So it overwrites the previous. Yeah, so that is going to do that and then apply the new one. Okay. All right, that should work. Fingers crossed. Did we get these issues? Or can we apply fury and status to our characters still? Whoops. Get the opposite. Yeah, it would help if I actually got the opposite. Let's see. Opposites. And status effect. Now, before we do this, let's go ahead and comment it out so we can see the issue actually happening. So we're going to look at the issue, and in order to see it, I'm going to bring up the status window so that you can all see what's going on when this runs. Did I build or run? I just built. I didn't run it. Hang on, once it gets going, there we go. Okay, so there is our status display, right here, for the game, and if the characters had a status being applied to them, we would actually see it on this screen. So, let's go get into a combat, and we'll see that happen on the screen. Do I have status effects? I do. I don't have the ones that I want, though. I might have to modify this, since I don't know if all of you can help me with this one. Stream Deck. I'm going to give myself a few extra commands. Copy. Paste. So we're going to slow all. Slow all. Paste. This is going to be stop all. Stop all. I'm going to create a button for haste all. Haste all. Slow, stop, haste, and then I need to have fury all. Fury all. And then paste a sadness all. Sadness all. Okay. I think all those buttons should exist. Now let's find out if they actually all work. We're not in combat, so the game should yell at me. Hey, Crichton. We are working on... did I not click connect? I didn't click connect. We are working on Interactive 7 today. We are currently running down a couple of bugs. We added in 2 new commands to add Gil and remove Gil from the game so that viewers can add and remove Gil from the runner. Let's run on in here and see what's going on. So we're going to get in a quick combat. And while I'm in this combat, I'm going to want to make sure that, hey, Sigmar, we're going to test out. So this code, we currently have it turned off. The bug fix is turned off, so we should see the error. So first off, I am going to attempt to Fury and Sadness the whole party. And they should get both Fury and Sadness applied. Okay, so they all have Fury and Sadness applied, which makes no sense. That should never happen in the game. So there's that. And then can I apply slow, stop, and haste to all the characters? Slow, sadness, fury, haste, slow. Okay, so it looks like the stop isn't on there. What happens when I stop them? What? Did my stop button not work? Hang on. Stop all. The stop status effect is disabled. First off, that is a problem. Why is my button not working? There it goes. Okay. Oh, thanks, Janiscu. How did you know I wanted lime? Settings. Status effects. Let's re-enable stop. Okay. There we go. Alright. That's just great. Thank you. Let me fix that. Okay, so they are stopped. They are sadness, they are fury, they are hasted, and they are slowed. So that makes no sense right now. They have a bunch of statuses applied that they should not be able to get all at the same time. So, let me go ahead and Asuna all. And see if I can remove all of those. So that should get rid of a bunch of them. Asuna doesn't get rid of slow and stop, apparently. That's funny. I thought it did, but maybe it doesn't. Okay. Well, I could wait for them to run out, or I could do this. Please be enabled. Oh, game over. Oh, man, I lost. Oh, jeez. I really thought I was going to win that battle. I didn't think I was going to win that battle. I petrified myself. Okay, let's jump back in. So here we are. Now, we're going to go and fix... let's save these settings. Okay. Let's go ahead and fix this. So there is the bug fix right there. Yeah, I know, Cyrilesh. I gotta get better at the game. I can't believe I lost. Hey, Sigmar. Give me a second. I gotta turn it back on. I've got Interactive 7 turned off right now. You'll see it in a minute. Okay, it's back in. Let's bring up our status display. There it is. Oh, lime. Perfect. How did you know? That was just the color I wanted. Cough, cough. Red, green, blue. That's 5 colors, Janisku. You got too many colors there. All right, let's run in. Let's see what happens. New mode. Sorry, Sameta. Yeah, I can trigger rainbow here for this battle, actually. There you go. Ooh, lime and red. Thanks, guys. That's great. How did you know exactly what I wanted? Alright, let's give this a try. So first off, I'm going to apply slow. So slow is applied across the board. Now everyone should get stopped, I hope. Uh-oh, they're still slowed and stopped. Still says they're slowed. Alright, so we'll have to look at that one. Alright, so they're still hasted. Bummer. Fury? Do they get Fury? You know what, I'm going to win this battle and then find out if they have those statuses applied. Wait, I can't win this battle. Who am I kidding? Let's just go ahead and petrify them. That battle's not getting won. Alright. Yeah. Thanks, Janisku. Just because we haven't switched it to that, because originally it is just using top, middle, and bottom. But yes, Cyrilesh, now that we do pull the character name, we can say that. So that's on the backlog, is not only allowing the command to specify the character name if you want, but replying back with the character name instead of the position. So let's try Fury and Sadness right off the bat. So it looks like it's nuking them. I must have flipped that the wrong way. So let's have a look at what's happening when we do that. So we come in here, and we say their current status is 0. He has no status. We're attempting to apply Fury. Oh, we need to do it before we do that. Derp. Derpy derp derp derp. 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 Herp and derp. Herp a derp derp. Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna restart that bot while I restart this one. That was a nice derp. It was a good derp. We did not, in fact, apply the status. So we'll see if it works this time. It was one of those like, yeah, let's see what's going on. What's happening with this thing? Oh, it's not wired up like at all. Yeah, it helps when you do that, Brendan. Hang on. Alright, that bot's connected. Okay, so they have no statuses right now, but in theory, I should be able to apply some now. Okay, so Fury it did not apply. Sadness it did not apply. So I'm going to need to look at what that's doing. So this looks like it's going to slow them each. The problem is the animations make it take a minute. What happens when I haste them out of their slow? Do they stop being slowed? Okay. So there's something still wrong with Fury and Sadness, but it looks like when I stopped them, they lost their haste, and when I slow them here, the stop goes away. And this should haste them. Okay. That's good. Alright, so that part works. There's something wrong with Fury and Sadness still, so let's go ahead and drop a breakpoint in here. And we're going to trigger Fury on them. So we're coming in with the status effect Fury. We're saying that Fury has a blocking opposite, which means that when you get it, we remove it. Oh! And the character has to have it. And the character has to have it. Derp. So this is going to be the opposite. So if get true status of the actor equals and opposite equals opposite, then do this. So only come in here if they actually had the thing. Guess I could write it that way. So if there's, because true status returned back an int instead of the status type. So if that opposite is greater than 0, then they had it. So then remove them. Otherwise, continue on. Yeah. All right. What if there's multiple opposites? Cyrilesh, we handled that. The way that we handled that, if you look at the opposites, is we're actually doing the combination of the opposites. So if there's more than one, we're using that. So if they've got multiple opposites, we are saying, yep, they've got multiple opposites, and just kind of accepting that. And then when we apply it, you're wondering about this, and that's because we need to do a bitwise AND on it, not a Boolean like AND. So it's not a true or false AND. This is check every bit and do a Boolean AND on that bit, if that makes sense. Why not move the logic into the remove actor status? Then it can be called from anywhere without the preceding logic. Sean, move which logic in there? Maybe you're thinking the result of remove actor status of a Boolean of whether or not they had it. We could do that. Yeah, if we did a Boolean of did they actually have the status to begin with. Uh, whoops. So then we could write it like this. If you have a blocking and remove, then return would totally work. So then in this, we would need to go to the parent and change it so that that is a Boolean of whether or not they had it. And then we would say okay, so that one we're negating it, but this one we're checking to see if it's actually there. Okay, so if this is greater than 0, then return false. Wait, if this equals 0. If this equals 0, return false because they don't have it. Yep. Alright. It's good change. It's good change. Alright, let's give this a try. See what happens. Do fury and sadness do what we expect now? What do you think, chat? Did we get it? Which actually, before we do that, petrify all. You think your chat is gonna... when a method call requires preceding logic, then it's safer to put that logic inside the method that becomes safer for the callers. Yes, Sean, exactly. Yep, that is totally right. Yep, I agree completely. Alright, here goes. Fury. Okay, they all have Fury applied. Now let's try adding Sadness. Okay, so Sadness removed it. Perfect. Now if I do Sadness again, it should add Sadness. Which it does. And then when I Fury, it removes all the Sadnesses. So we might want to update our messaging, but it works as expected now. So now I can stop everyone. And then I can decide to slow them as well. Now they're all active again, but they're slowed. I can haste them once they're done with the animation. Now everyone's hasted. So, yay! That works the way I expect. Awesome. That is exactly how we wanted all of that to work. So, fixing the Fury, Sadness, Haste, slow, stop bugs. Yeah, it's always nice when you actually when you actually get to see it work the way you want it to, and with it being visual too, and being able to see it, along with having, you know, the statuses displayed along the side here, right on this text. This is where I'm watching the statuses. That is also really, really nice, because you can just kind of see it as like just visualize like, yep, working exactly as expected. So always good to see that. Okay. So, hooray for bug fixes. Alright. So, since we got those in place, let's go back and work on the last part of what I talked about. So I pinged our Discord yesterday and told everybody what we're going to be working on today, which if you're not in our Discord, link in the chat as well as down below. And I mentioned both the giving and removing of Gil from the player, commands for those, as well as fixing the bugs that we just fixed. But I left the Player Gil settings with little messages saying to add it to the screen. Add to settings screen. I need to make sure these are on the settings screen as they need to be, so let's actually put those in there as well. We could potentially create the settings view for those. What else is on our backlog? I'm going to pull up our backlog and have a look, see if there's something else that we should tackle today before diving into that. Oh, there's a bug with de-equipping items and the materia not always disappearing. Let's have a look at that. That sounds fun. So let's petrify all characters so we can get a reset. On this project, Sean? I mean, I'm not sure what I would DDD on this project. Oh, it's not running. Let me run it. I mean, it's not terribly far from DDD, but DDD's generally speaking a little different for like this kind of project. I could have built it with like player and character objects that we were manipulating, but so DDD is not different from Onion. It's looking at a different level. Just to clarify on that. So an implementation of DDD should still be following an Onion architecture. Just so we're clear on that. But the question then is how you're structuring the logical pieces that you're creating. Cyrilash, we actually started some of this with TDD on some of these pieces, but part of the thing that gets me is too much of this project. Like, there are pieces we can unit test, but too much of it gets into the weeds of like getting the call from Twitch, so we'd be better served with integration tests on some of these than unit tests, and it's really hard to get a harness on some of these pieces. Hey, Movable Charmer, welcome. So, either way, let me bring this in so that we can game over our game real fast. Petrify all. Oh yeah, I know, Sean. I agree. Yes, just mock all of Twitch. Like, what am I like? I can mock it, but the problem is once I start doing that, a lot of the stuff we're testing, like, we're really not testing much once we do that, because it's like, did this get called? Yeah, okay, cool. There's a couple of things that we can get some tests around, but they just don't bias enough, because too many things get into, like, did this status actually apply to the game is really where the logic's hitting us the most, more than anything else. There's like some of the other pieces, like our Gil accounting for the players, for example, we have unit tests around that. For a command that's basically just setting the, like, it's just passed through this value, there's very little to test, is the problem. Okay, so let's mess with character equipment. And while we do that, we're going to have this display up so that we can see what's getting changed. So weapon, cloud 15, weapon, Tifa 12? I don't know, what's 12? Oh, right, weapon, Tifa... I don't remember what her set is. 24? Is that one of hers? Weapon, Tifa, 28? How many slots does the Power Soul have? Okay. They're different types than that one, so that's fine. Weapon, Barrett, 40? It's gotta be one of his, right? W machine gun? I need to go bigger. Weapon, Barrett, 48? Nope. 3? Does that I chose the one that has nothing. There we go. Okay. So they both have different types. Alright. Accessory. Cloud. I don't know. What is that? Oh, I didn't want accessories. I meant armlet. Cloud. Team. How many slots does the Gigas armlet have? Not bad. Armlet. Tifa. 13. Whoops. Nope. Tifa, 15? The Imperial Guard, there's a good one. Okay. And then I want to get Barrett one that's got, the Aegis armlets. Not bad. What's this have? Fourth break. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. Now I need to give myself some materia. I don't think it matters what the materia is, now that I think about it. Whoops. Ha ha ha. All right. Excuse me. There. Now we've got some good materia. That might be enough to pass around between the characters. Okay. Who's next? Barrett needs some materia. And Tifa needs some materia. I left Barrett with some openings, so we'll give Barrett a little bit more materia as well. Okay. Now I'm going to save this real fast just so that we have another... Whoops. On that slot, please. Okay. So now we can reload this save if we want to. To do more testing. Alright. So, we can see over in this view what their current materia is and everything like that. So let's actually pull up Cloud right here. And we are going to equip Cloud with a new armlet. Whoops. Armlet Cloud 2. Oh, look at that. It kept them wrong. Oh, it really is busted. Oh, and it nuked them up there. Oh, man. Ugh. Oh, yeah, there's a bug. There's the bug. Okay, Tifa's is fine. Let's try adjusting her... let's try adjusting her weapon. Down to 16, which should be her initial one. Okay, so weapon's working fine, but armlet is not. What happened? What happened? We must have gone from the wrong direction or something. We grabbed the wrong ones. All right, what did we do? What did we do? Remove armlet materia. Here's where it is. Oh, I wonder if we've got the wrong starting point. Here's a wait. What's Sirlash's idea? Add a randomized character materia command, as in like assign them random materia from your inventory, or assign entirely new random materia, because those are two very different ideas. Entirely new randomized materia. That'd be expensive, but we could do that. Character offsets. So 60 off the starting point of the character, which means it is... Make sure I don't mess this up. Hang on, making sure I don't mess this up. We're going to hex, and we're going to do 60 minus 40 is so 32 or 20. Let's go take a look at this. All right. Wait, what? I think it is wrong. Base address of the character. Where do I base? I base at their level. Where did this base? They did it at character ID. Since I didn't care about character ID, I didn't start there. So it is off by 1 for me. So whereas they did 40, which would be 64. I was at 63 at the time on that, so I did 63. This should be 83, not 71. What is this? Let's see. With it based on how much you pay, kind of like Yojimbo in FF10. Oh, that would be hilarious, Cyrilash. Yeah, if you adjusted how nice the materia was based on that. Or alternately, you could ask for more money to be bad materia. But what was I do? Oh right, I need to connect. And then bring us back in here. I need to go petrify us real fast. We'll get a game over, because that's the nicest way to get... Exactly, Sigmar. Some people just want to make you fail. Some people want to watch you succeed. Alright, so we're going to give this a shot. This should fix the armlet materia removal bug that Swoog ran into while playing this. Let's say petrify all. Oh! Oh no! Oh no! He can't die. Kill himself? That worked. Some people, yeah. No, Cyber, you're correct. I think it's going to be most people are going to want to watch the streamer lose. Since when does Twitch chat want to see... Exactly! Since when does Twitch chat want to see someone succeed? Yeah, no, everybody wants to see you fail, not succeed. I mean, this isn't like speaking at a conference. This is Twitch. Twitch wants to watch you die. Alright, let's bring up the view over here. There we go. Full set of materia. Materia on... Whoops. Materia on Tifa. What did I do last time that made it fail? I did weapon Tifa 6... Oh, weapon succeeded. Sorry, I did armlet cloud 2. Alright. So let's go back to cloud. Armlet Cloud 2. So this failed last time. So those are empty. These are empty. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Ah! It nuked that one. And should have kept these two, actually. Alright, so we don't have it lined up quite right. Let's attempt to realign. And we'll see what we get again. We'll switch to Tifa for this one. So on Tifa, we're looking for the Leviathan materia, which let me find out what its number is. And I'm actually going to pull up Cheat Engine to take a look at where that's supposed to be. Leviathan is 80. So we're expecting to see a value of 80 at the memory load. Well, actually, do I want to check that? Yeah, they're 32 because they're hex 20. So I'm crazy. That was supposed to be not 63 plus 20. It was supposed to be 63 plus 32, so 95. Alright. Let's have a look. Bring that back up, reconnect the bot. Now we're going to do the same thing, but this time for Tifa. Armlet. Tifa 2. Hey, hey! There it is. She kept her 2. And those are gone. She still has a Leviathan. Yay! Fixed. Okay. That's the armlet issue resolved. Okay, so... note to add settings screen. And where's the settings screen? And then this will be fix armlet materia memory location. So we had that at the wrong spot, so that's why it was messing up. Okay. And Janisku, thank you for messing with our menu colors. Always nice to see those changing. Alright, so that fixes that bug. So that's a couple of issues down that people have run into while running this. So I'm happy about that. All right. What else is on our backlog? Adding and removing GP for the gold saucer. I'll have to mess with that at some point. A no items command. That makes me wonder if I can do something. Sorry about flashing the screen on you, everyone. I'm going to show you a little program called Cheat Engine. Yep, keep those, please. Alright, so this is Cheat Engine. And this is actually a program that is, well, designed to let you manipulate the memory of another program. It is kind of like what we do, except we're doing it a little bit differently than what they do. So it's designed for scanning and finding values. So right now I have this looking at Cloud's set of commands, and if you want to take a look at what we've got here, so this is actually showing us these values in here. That 1 right here at the beginning of this value is corresponding to attack on this list. The 2 there is corresponding to magic. This FF, that's the blank, and then this 4 here, that's item. Now what I don't know is what happens if I modify that value. Does it force it back? And what happens if I get in combat while it's like this? I want to find out. Don't you want to find out what's going to happen if Cloud doesn't have attack? Is it going to put it back? I like what you did there. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to click it, whether that's just the display value or whether that's actually there, but I want to find out. Because if I can disable... Alright, no, I don't want that. I want to go to Cloud. Oh, he does have it. Oh, and it changed to 14 because he has that... Can I force it away? Nope. Even if it's not there, I can still click it. So, bummer. I was hoping that it would get rid of them. So that's just the display. So I really want to find out if I can actually get rid of it. Like, I want to see, like, can I make it so that they don't get to actually do what they want to do? Like, can I block the actual choice? And I wonder what happens if I add one. Actually, did Cloud Braver? Hang on. I'm actually not sure he did. Whoops. I know it let me pick it, but did it actually happen? So if we were constantly forcing this away... No, he does nothing. It's still there, but he does nothing. Does someone not have manipulate? Oh, I should have given someone the manipulate materia. Yep, it wastes Cloud's turn if I pick that. That is funny. I wonder if it has to do with the fact that the second value is not zeros that allows me to pick it. No? Maybe it just always expects you to be able to do it, so maybe if I go back to Cloud again... Aha! So once I'm off of it, I can no longer choose it. That's the key. So removing attack would only work if you shifted one of the others into that spot. What happens if I make that 4-3 go away and be 0? Cloud loses the ability to use items. So that'll waste Cloud's turn again because it's attack that's missing. So let's put it back. I think it was 0, 1, and 7, if I remember correctly. Okay, so Cloud can attack, but I think I've removed the ability for Cloud to... Yeah, I think I've removed the ability for Cloud to use items if I take that menu away from him. You're adding an option to remove attack or magic if that... yeah, Moogle Charmer, that would be the idea. Essentially, trying to make it so that we can add or remove options from that menu so that we can just say, no, you don't get to use items, no, you don't get to use magic or things like that. So, disabling it without a status effect, just like turning it off. What if you use something that replaces the normal... What would happen if you use something that... Like if I put something else there, you mean? I could potentially put something else there. But I don't know what we would put there. I don't know what would happen if we put a 2... that's a good question. That's a really good question. Yeah, and if we... So with enemy skill, I think it's going to fail, but... Because I think we would need to have the materia in order for it to know what enemy skills were available. But maybe that's what the additional bytes are for? To determine which enemy skills I have? Do. Menu color fixed. Alright, so we're going to get into some more combats here. We don't know how many. Inside this elevator, we get into combat. Okay. Let's find out what we've got. Okay, so... I wonder if 23 is what indicates the defend. Alright, so what are we supposed to have? 4x? 2 cut? Let's try putting a 25 in here and see what happens. I don't know what the 7 means, so we're just going to mess with stuff. Okay, so it did not like that. So we'll leave that one alone, but let's put something in another slot, like this 3rd slot. We're waiting for Cloud to get his turn again. Nope, it didn't like that one that I put in there either. The problem is I'm not sure of the secondary values that I need to put in here. I don't have those in my list. So since I don't know what the second value is, I can't easily get it. Oh, hey, coin! I don't even know what's going on, because that's targeting everybody. And it didn't let me pick an amount. Whoa, that was a little busted. I targeted everybody with nothing. Hey, Nerd Rage. It's empty in here? Yeah, no one's chatting right now. So you can easily highlight a message. But that is interesting. I was not expecting... I should say, I didn't know what was going to happen with that. Let's kill a couple of these guys, because they're causing trouble. I don't like them. They're bugging my characters. Yeah. It's flipping between coin and throw and targeting everyone. That is super weird. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, right. She's on base equipment. That's why she can't kill anything. Alright, what can I change this to that might work? Manipulate? Alright, we'll try it. Wait, what? That was supposed to be manipulate, not mug. Oh, God! I just mugged Barrett. I didn't know it was going to happen there. I don't know. How was I supposed to know what that was going to do? I'm just changing random bits in the program and looking at what happens. Oh, yeah, Janiscu, I agree. That is one of my favorites. The putting the sunglasses on the Shocked Chatosaurus is really good. That is... I wish they would just let me permanently unlock that, because I want to always have that one. That right there, yeah. He's so surprised he's gotta have his son. He's like, what? Really? That's crazy. So that's interesting. Now these are legit. I really do have some summons here. I really can cast Leviathan on that guy. Man, I tell you, this was such a good game back in the 90s. I can't believe how good it was. Like, for as much as we laugh at the graphics today, because we're like, oh, it's so polygony, and look at the block hands. And you go... like, that's actually not bad for 1997, thank you. Considering this is the game that, at least in the series, comes right after, yeah, exactly. This comes right after a SNES game. Like a 2D SNES game is what this comes after, so... What's the game engine? I have no idea if, like, I don't know what Final Fantasy VII was running. Like, if it was just completely in-house or if it was based on something. I don't actually know what 7 had. Probably would survive better if it were 8-bit pixels like Chrono Trigger. Yeah, so people give a lot of leeway to the old SNES stuff because it was 2D. We didn't care that it didn't look as realistic because it was 2D, so who cares? As soon as you jump to 3D, we put this expectation that it has to look better now, and we're like, yeah, no, that's supposed to be 3D. It's like, well, yeah, that's because we're still on 3D tech. But, yeah, I think it's a little unfair, but... Can I have another attack for Cloud? Can Cloud attack twice? No, apparently not. Oh yeah. Yeah, see, I don't care about graphics in this. Yeah, so Minecraft did okay because like it looks like it's intentionally supposed to be blocky. Whereas this looks like they did blocky because they couldn't do any better, which is true. It was blocky because they just didn't do any better. So, different worlds that they come from. Because we look at this and we go like, yeah, they tried to round everything except the hands. Well, hands are difficult. And the other thing is, because of things, they actually have different models. They have 3 different types of models in the game that you might not notice. So if you look here, you'll see that their hands are not blocks in this one. Whereas in the previous view, so walking around inside of like just a regular environment, they have those block hands. But in here, we've got models that are definitely not block hands. So these are more detailed versions of those same characters, and they actually have a third. So they have 3 different levels of detail that they use on the characters depending on where it was. So in these, because all they needed to show was the characters and their opponents, they added a lot more detail to these ones. So it's just funny. The stuff you end up with in these old games. There was also no game at the time. Yes, exactly. That is absolutely true, Cyber. This game came out with 3 discs worth of content, which is just hilarious now at the time, because it's like, holy cow! We now look at this and go, actually, if you compressed it a little bit better, you could have fit it down onto fewer. The problem is they got slightly over 1, and that's what caused them the whole problem. So... Alright, so that looks good. We fixed a couple of those. I am happy with that. So, I think at this point, I want to have a look at that. Where to send everybody? So I guess first things first, let's close down all that stuff. And, yes, it was very nice that we didn't have to restart the console when swapping discs. The being able to just open the case and swap discs was quite useful. So, I want to run a couple of things. First off, we will be back next week. Hopefully, I'll be back during the week, but we'll see what happens. If not, it'll be next Saturday. I want to make sure I thank our moderators, Crimson Green, S&B. Thank you for helping out with the stream today. I want to thank our followers as well. We got all these wonderful people decided to follow our stream today, and a handful of resubs. So thank you, Nate and Strife, for resubbing today. Always appreciated. Today, I think we're going to do an interesting thing and raid over to... well, is there someone to raid over to right now? Is anyone running our code? Is anyone running our code? If Swoog's running our code, we'll raid him. But if he is not running our code... Rando! He's doing the rando. No. Well, I guess he's running i7 along the side. So I guess we could. But he's not really running i7. So I don't think I'm going to. Sorry, Swoog. Cyrilash, you can actually run i7 and the randomizer together. There is something the randomizer does that's a little bit weird that I want to talk with the creator of that about fixing, because then it will work better with ours. There's a couple of things that he does that is a little weird. He was going to wait for my patch. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we're pretty close to having a patch to this. I just want to add the settings screen first. But either way, I want to thank everybody for stopping by today, hanging out and chatting with us, and we will be back next Saturday if we're not able to get one in earlier during the week. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get a stream in during the week, but if not, Saturday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we will be writing some more code. I don't know if it'll be Interactive 7 or one of our other projects. I've got a handful of one-off projects that I want to do at some point, so either way, we will have a look at those when we can. So have a great week, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for hanging out, and happy coding, and take care. Bye, everyone.